In today's update, we are going to be talking about the panic selling gripped Chinese stocks, and it's happening again. Investors dump everything in China. Also, bubble angst rear its head in the Nasdaq, and why this article that I'm going to show you right now is a massive warning. Also, this article here, the worst for US renters, apartment owners is yet to come. Wait till I share with you what I've got going on there. Also, the Bridgewater of all the companies with the pandemic is now actually cutting jobs. And wait till I share with you what I got to show you in this article, because it's going to show you what's going on moving forward. And also, we're going to be looking at silver and gold, and the question is it a boom or a bust? Let's get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video, because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. So traders, before I start, make sure you go to the very first link in the description. There's the very first comment there. Go to johnsflashsale.com to grab the $7 trading course. If you are struggling in your trading right now, or you need some help with your trading right now, then you need this trading course. Only $7. johnsflashsale.com. Also, question of the day. Leave a comment below. Let me know. Will we see another world war with China? The China's rising right now. So let me know what you think. China is taking over everything. Hong Kong, everywhere, right? It's rising power. Do you think we're going to see another world war with China? So moving into what Bloomberg article here, we're talking about here the panic selling grips Chinese stocks after US tensions. Now, China right now is like, it's really interesting, isn't it? Donald Trump is right now doing everything he can to keep the stock market up. And the Chinese is like, I don't care what's happening. They, the stock market can go down. It's like the two different things, isn't it? Now you can see here is that if I zoom in on this article, you can actually see that it says that traders based beyond mainland China sold more than 2.3 billion worth of stocks on Friday. One of the largest ever outflows via Hong Kong exchange links. You can see here that it says that the index fell 4.4% at the close, and you can see here that this whole image here just says it. Look at this here, from the start to the finish over the last over 1 day through here. From there down through there, we're just absolutely just going through the floor. Now, the really interesting thing about this is that if I just close this off, you'll be able to see here, you can see here that it says overseas investors sold 16.4 billion of the Chinese stocks on Friday. The most since the record was 17.4 billion was dumped on July 4th. We're getting so many people right now are so worried about China. China's taking everything, but right now, China is the rising power, and it's taking on the American market. It's taking on the whole world, basically. Let me know what you think below. Do you think, as I said before, do you think we're going to go see another world war, or do you think we're going to? What do you think China is really up to, this whole virus situation and so on and so forth? Let me know what you think below. And also, you can see here on Zero Hedge, it says it's happening again. Investors dump everything. Stocks in the Hong Kong and mainland China tumbled after being ordered Washington to cease all operations. It's just absolutely crazy right now what's going on, and Trump and the China right now, they're going at it. Now, moving over to Bloomberg once again, we can see here it says bubble angst rears its head in Nasdaq, striking fear into bulls. Now, by the way, guys, when you see bearish headline like this, that makes me actually quite bullish in the markets, right? So, but the one thing I want to share with you here right now, look at this here. Momentum is fading with all these markets through here, right? So you can see at the bottom is the Nasdaq 100 price to earnings ratio. And you can see how it's coming down through here. And then the Nasdaq 100 versus the S&P. We're seeing this through here. Nasdaq heads for worst earnings season return in decades. Now, the interesting thing here, guys, is this. Is that when we have a look at this here, if I scroll down, here is the interesting thing here. If I look at this whole thing, right, the FAAMG, which is Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Google stocks, have done the heavy lifting this year, right? So it's not all stocks. It's like 5 stocks are doing the heavy lifting. The Nasdaq's at all-time new highs because of what? Because of like the 5 stocks. But what happens if like Intel right now had a really bad earnings, and stuff like that. You can see here that the FANG stocks in S&P 500 and the biggest heavy lifting right now is happening from those. What happens if they start contracting because they're in a massive bull market, right? They're in a bubble. Amazon's in a bubble right now. Facebook's in a bubble right now. Especially Apple. They're all in massive bubbles right now. So what happens when they start to pull back? Does that mean they overall pull back? That the next week in apt to bring more drama when Apple, Facebook, Amazon, and Alphabet, which is Google, are scheduled to report earnings alongside with Microsoft Corp. These companies make 22% of the S&P 500, probably more like 80% of the Nasdaq. That's the largest representation ever recorded by the 5 biggest members since the 1980s. So guys, right now, this is just, if these stocks start to really pull back, it's going to be really dangerous what actually happens in the market. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Do you think that they do start to pull back and suddenly we do go through a second downturn in the overall market? Also, moving over to Bloomberg, the worst for US renters and apartment owners is yet to come. Evictions to surge if $600 a week in unemployment benefits lapse. Now, the really interesting thing here is this, is that for the most part, they did, thanks to the $2 trillion in emergency relief, right? So they really helped the renters out here. But here's the interesting part here. 1 in 3 renters failed to make their full payment in the first week of July. Nearly 12 million renters could be served with eviction in the next 4 months. And you can see here that this whole will you make next month's payment, paid deferred, highly confident, moderate confident, and so on and so forth. You can see what's going on through here. But even just what's going on right now, guys, is that not only is it affecting banks, but right now, what happens if the government doesn't actually give as much money in the second stimulus than they've done originally? What's going to happen through there, right? So that's the interesting thing. And to me, I just truly believe that the US renters, they're going to start to really freak out because they're not going to have as much money as they have because I spent all their stimulus money. Yes, they've been earning double money by sitting on their backside smoking weed, right? That's what they've actually been doing, and here is the interesting, right? The interesting thing is this, is that you have to go back to the Great Depression to find these kind of numbers we're looking at right now. That is just absolutely crazy. So guys, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Do you think we're going to go through a renting crisis, where most times rent is going up in a crisis, but it seems like rent's also going to be hit hard as well too? Let me know what you think in the chat box, or the comment section below. Also, moving over to Bloomberg once again, markets, Bridgewater cuts jobs with the pandemic requiring few workers. Now, here's the really interesting thing about this, okay? Listen to this article. Bridgewater Associates, the biggest hedge fund firm, said they're planning to cut jobs because it won't need the same number of support staff, more employees from work from home, and new technologies are changing types of people in need for these services here. The really interesting thing about this, guys, is that this is just a warning sign. Listen to what he said there. Because of technology and because of people working from home, they don't need as many people. What do you think that's going to be doing to all the companies out there, right? This whole shift that's happened now with the big virus situation, people are now, guess what? People now are working from home. People are now working from home, and now governments and now because companies have had to be forced to do really well on smaller staff, they've become more productive. They've done really well. But that's only going to be bad for the economy. That's going to be more layoffs soon. So this Bridgewater article through here, guys, is a warning sign, a massive warning sign, that when looking at the whole economy, we are likely to see a lot more layoffs. Not only, right now we're getting panic selling in China. We're seeing the bubble angst for what's happening right now with the Nasdaq. We're seeing, US evictions, people can't pay their, and something before you know it, there's going to be, right now unemployment is bad, right? What happens when they start to get more, the government just starts to get more and more what's happening right now? This is a massive warning sign. And that if Bridgewater is doing it, so many other companies are doing it right now. And my only problem is this, is that now the government has been paying people to sit on their backsides more money than to actually go to work. What happens when they start to really slow that down in the next 6 months? Probably, maybe over the next, say, 12, maybe next, say, 12 months. What happens when they really start to slow that down and they have to go back to work? They're going to be pissed, one. There's going to be more cranky people, but that's only going to be much worse. Right now, guys, right now in the situation, this is actually just getting started. We think that the situation right now is bad in the economy, but this is just getting started. And I believe, and this is just a warning sign, right? There are more layoffs and more unemployment and more stimulus, and it's going to get a lot worse. And moving over to silver and gold, and what do I actually think about what's going on right now with silver and gold? Is it a boom or is it a bust? Right now, let's have a quick look at gold. If I look at gold right now, there is actually a little bit of a warning sign with gold, and that is, one, we've been going up for so long. Secondly, is that right now there's everyone in the mainstream media is covering gold. That's actually quite bearish, right, guys? Because you don't want that. Guess what was happening 2 years ago? No one was talking about gold, right? That's the time to get involved with it. Now everyone's talking about gold. The tickers are up and all that sort of stuff. This is the worst time to be looking to this is probably a bad time in the cycle of trying to enter it. I'm not saying that we're going to see a massive crash through here, but when we see a massive spike like we have right now, and we're pretty much right at that high point right now, so we're probably going to break above that when it comes to gold. When looking at gold, when you see mainstream media talking about how good it is, this is, once again, guys, this is how it was with Bitcoin at 17,000. Oh my goodness, it's going up. It's going to keep going up. This is amazing. All this sort of stuff at 17,000. Now 17,000 was the top. It went to 18, 19, and then 20,000. Guess what? And then it pulled back. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see with gold a bit more of a push up moving forward, and then a very nice sharp pullback. But once again, going in line with still a very big bull market, as you can see. It'll just probably be a very strong pullback out of there, and then probably continue up. I do see a lot more higher prices overall for gold, but right now in the short term things, guys, maybe on a short term a little push higher, but I'm actually thinking to see a pullback after this massive move up through there. Now, the similar same thing when it comes to silver, right? Silver actually hit my overall projected target, as you can see through here, and right now silver's through there. So I wouldn't be too surprised if I go to the daily chart. This is the daily chart with silver. In fact, if I just bring up this chart through here, let's bring up the silver daily chart for you. There we go. So the silver daily chart has had a big run up. And the problem with silver is that when silver has massive spikes in one direction, it generally has big pullbacks in the other direction. I truly believe that we're likely to see, once again, like with gold, that we're likely to see a pullback in silver soon. Even if we do get a little push out, a very strong pullback, but I don't believe we're gonna go into a bear market. I truly believe, by looking at this here, that this low down the bottom here is the start of a massive bull trend in silver, and I do see a lot higher prices to come overall. But if I'm looking at this chart here on a weekly basis, on a short term, then I see this thing pulling back through here. So let me know what you think in the chat box below, especially silver. Do you think silver is going to break all-time new highs? Or do you think not? Let me know what you think about silver through there. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you really enjoyed today's video. And once again, guys, if you did and you really would like to get my help, then the best way to do that is just to get started with this $7 trading course. Go to johnsflashsale.com. This is just a little flash sale that I'm running right now. If it's not $7 by the time you get there, I apologize. The sale is over. It's going to be ending real soon. So, and you get all these videos here to help you get started in the market. If you're looking to get started, or if you're struggling right now, then grab the $7 trading course, because even this very first video here, video number 1, the top deadly mistakes, there's 13 mistakes that you're making right now that is causing you to go backwards overall. So go to that right now. As I said before, guys, click on the hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment below and let me know what you think, once again, about one, what's happening with silver and gold right now. What do you think is going to happen through there? And then also, secondly, about China. Right now, we are getting to another point here. Do you think we're going to create another world war when it comes to China? Let me know in the comment section below.